The words that you are speaking is what is creating the debt, the destruction, the despair, the stagnation in your life. Watch for more. Hey, my loves, welcome back to my channel. So I have been doing some really deep dive. There's the eclipse energy. We had the full moon, the blood moon, the eclipse, and all these energies going on. And I had done a video where I talked about just being still in this season and allowing the Pisces season to, do its thing of going into the dream realm and the spirit realm and just embody all of that, and then get ready for the spring and for the Aries energy to come forth, which is all about action, and the energy of Mars that just puts everything into action and flow. And so while I was in my dream space working with the energy of the dream world and the spirit world, the Lord uncovered a few things to me. And one of the key things that God showed to me and spoke to me was about our words. He kept saying to me, life and death is in the power of the tongue. And he had me meditate on that. And meditating on that means that you savor the word over and over. You savor it over and over until it comes alive inside of you. And then it just kind of, you start seeing things in your outer world, your daily life, start to get into alignment. That's when you know you're meditating on a word and it's bearing fruit. Now, I remember I had met a client and she was so ready to work with me. And then she went on my website and saw that I mentioned that I meditate. And she was like, I cannot work with a Christian who meditates. And I was just like, oh my gosh. But so just so you know, when I talk about meditation, meditation is a way of, embodying a word. And embodying the word of God, which is living and active and sharper than any two-edged sword, dividing spirit and soul, right? Bone and marrow. So life and death is the power of the word. And I'm going to teach you in this video how you can start to turn your life around, and you can highlight where you've been going wrong and where you have stagnation. This is for you. Where you are not happy with where your life is and what is manifesting for you, what is showing up for you, this video is for you. So what I'm going to ask you to do, because I'm a doer, you don't just hear from me. I don't just hear words. You have to do. You got to put things in action, because faith without works is dead. So faith is action. Faith is action. All right. And it comes by hearing and hearing the word of God. The word of God, again, is living and active, right? So you want to hear the word that is living and active, and you want to embody that and allow it, and then you put it into action for things to unfold and manifest for you. So we're going to work on one area. I'm going to teach more on the topic of prosperity and abundance and wealth, right? And we're gonna dive into this. So we are trained that the word prosperity is associated instantly. When you think of the word prosperity, do you instantly think of money? When you hear the word wealth, do you instantly think of money? When you hear the word affluence, do you really instantly think of money? When you hear the word opulent, do you instantly think of money? When you hear the word abundance, do you instantly think of money? Now, when you hear of the word finances, do you instantly think of money? So all these words that I just spoke, affluence, opulence, wealth, prosperity, abundance, financial, finances, these 7 words that I've just spoken, in your quiet time, I need you to write them out, sit with them, and feel into each word. Now, what I mean, so let's go about the word prosperity. So there are people who, when they started preaching about prosperity, I remember, because I just started to become awake to that part of the word of God when I moved to America in 2003. And I started to go to church, and it was like the prosperity teaching, right? And then I remember in 2006, when I was in ministry, it was like my pastor was always teaching us about the prosperity of us, but then they put a spin on it. They started to make it seem like it's not about money, it was about everything. And that was, I feel like, a cover up, because if you're saying that you're prosperous and you're teaching prosperity and you're not seeing financial blessings from that, then to say, oh, prosperity means other things, was to me just kind of a cover up, because I literally take God at his word where he says that greater works will we do, because he goes on to the Father. So I have been seeking and digging in for the greater works. I am not some playing with God, playing Christian type of person and spiritual kind of woman. I am really taking God at his word. Like, if you say you heal, I have to experience healing for me to believe, to teach it, and to embody it, and to be confident in saying God's healing. God is a healer. So prosperity. What does the word prosperity mean for you? Now, if you have been saying, using the affirmation, I am prosperous, and a whole year has passed and you're still bankrupt, you still can't pay your bills, you're still lacking, you still don't have any savings, you're still struggling financially, then it's time for you to change that word. If you have been saying, I am abundant, and you're still struggling financially, you still don't have no friends, you're still living in a shack, and you're not happy with where you're living, you're not happy with your work, you gotta change the word abundance. If you are saying, I am wealthy, again, you measure it, because you gotta measure everything. The word said you gotta measure. Test everything that you hear. What doesn't work for you, spit it out, throw it away. And then in time, when you grow into it, it may come back to you. So this is where you're going to dissect these words. Again, affluence, opulence, prosperity, wealth, abundance, finances, financial. When you hear the word finances, does it make your skin crawl? Do you cringe? Do you feel any resistance in your body? Because if you're saying my finances are in order, and you've been saying that for a year now, 6 months, 3 months, and nothing has happened, you got to change the word. So you need to find words that are going to remove the resistance in your body, remove the resistance out of your mind, in order for it to come alive in you, for you to trust it. Because remember, you're working with the spirit, you're working with the soul. The soul is made up of the mind, the will, and the emotions. So the soul is connected to the mind, the will, and the emotions. Your soul sees things. So your soul sees that your bank account is zero, but your spirit is saying you are rich. You are wealthy because you're a child of the God, you're a child of God, you're a daughter of the King, you're a son of the King, and your spirit is telling you, don't believe what your soul is saying, but your soul is like, I live in this reality, I see with my eyes this reality, you can't tell me anything else. So you gotta know, get to the brain, to the mind, to get the mind to start to turn to be aligned with the spirit. How do you do that? Okay, again, your word and what you look at, your word and what you look at, your word and what you look at. That's why I am a strong believer in vision boards. And I hear people knock vision boards. Oh, you can look at, yes, you can look at a vision board and it won't work. It doesn't just mean you put a vision board and you say, oh yeah, it's done. You gotta work it. With everything, you gotta work. But working does not necessarily mean, and that's a word I'm working on transforming, because you want to be receiving. So the type of work that I am doing now is I am receiving. I'm moving the word work and replacing it with receiving. Because when I work, it means I am giving. It's my gift. And so I am going to be receiving from my gift. You see how that feels? So instead of saying, I am going to work today, say, I am going to gift today. I am going to gift today. Because you're gifting of your time, your energy, right? So I am going to gift today. And if you start saying that, that is going to create a transformation, which will bring about a change, which will allow you to shift your perception, because your perception creates your reality. And that is where you're going to have the breakthrough, the turnaround. So, again, we're going back to money. When you say finances, for me, when I hear finances, I literally cringe. Because finances to me feels like I'm in a box. Finances sound to me like I am bottled in, I'm cringed in. But when I hear the word financial, it means to me, the financial part of it just means shall. Finance, I shall. Means finance, I shall break free. I shall shall remove me. So instead of saying finances, I say financial for me. It makes me feel more like I'm freer. Okay. Now, when I say the word opulent, I had to feed my spirit with that word, because that is not a common word. Opulent makes it seem like it's so far away. Like you cannot be opulent. Opulent is like celebrities and billionaires and millionaires. Opulent is like you carrying your Louis Vuitton or your Chanel. Like your opulent is like, it just seems so far away. But I was just like, no, I have these things. Why was I not comfortable with the word opulent? Right? And then as I started to feel into that word and work in that word, I realized that I felt more comfortable using the word opulent versus prosperity. Isn't that weird? Like I feel less resistance, even though I thought opulence was far away, but I felt less resistance using the word opulent versus prosperity. Because prosperity, and I'm going to say this, I realized I didn't respect the word prosperity. Because I felt like the word prosperity was overused, overworked. And for me, when I think of prosperity, I always think of trees and the leaves, like a lot of leaves, and there are always these leaves. So I didn't think it seriously because I kind of took it for granted. Isn't that weird when you start to dissect words? And so me saying all this time that I'm prosperous, I already knew that I was. I already lived from that place of prosperity. But in order to shift myself into a higher vibration, because I'm ready to grasp the billionaire status, I realized that I was always embodying a millionaire status. Like I was always embodying that essence. So I have always been in the circle of millionaires and six-figure people. And I was just like, how do I get now into the vibration of billions and billionaire? Because again, you go where you're at and what you're doing, because we all have different callings. So for me to be even feeling the urge to expand into billionaire means that God has something for me to do in that era and with those people. So I am just showing up as his servant, and he sends me where he wants to. So I wanted to share this with you because I don't want it to go too long. But if you have gotten something from this, please drop me a message. And if you need to help me work with you to tap into and clarify how to shift your life from one vibration to the next, and how you're able to call in, hold, and maintain what God has given to you, then feel free to reach out and connect with me. Again, my website is artoflivingmaui.com. You may email me at marsha@artoflivingmaui.com, or you can find me on Instagram at @therealmarshawald. And I appreciate all of my subscribers. I pray for you. I pray blessings for every person that has subscribed to my channel, because as my channel has grown, I am so grateful to all of you, because it couldn't have been possible. I remember when I was at 300 subscribers, and now we are in the 4,000s. Woohoo! So thank you guys for hearing what I am saying and receiving the word. And may the word expand in you, come alive, and radiate and illuminate your life so that we can all be victorious, prosperous, no, financial, opulent. That's the word. I love you all. Malama Pono. Until next time. Mahalo.